The goal of quitting your job is not retirement. I know, a little bit controversial, but hear me out, okay? Because today we are going to be talking about a common misconception that people have that if you want to quit your corporate job, that you just want to retire and you don't ever want to work ever again. And that's just not true. I feel like the boomer generation thinks that millennials don't want to work ever again. Now, I know that's not every boomer, love you boomers, okay? But for the purpose of this podcast, we are categorizing and we are stereotyping. So don't come after me, okay? And once again, this is very much a stereotype that millennials don't want to work and that they want to retire early and that they're just done and over it. And to be fair, a lot of people are done and over it. But the reason they say that is because they're just working a job or they're working in a career that they are not fulfilled by. They're just not lit up by. Maybe they're super burnt out and exhausted by all the stimulation and the random things that come our way. And we were the generation that grew up with the boom of the internet and social media and all of these things. And there was the recession and there's so many other factors. And that's kind of why we're burnt out. Okay. And now you have so many more families who have two working parents or two working parties in a family, right? So there's all of this housework that needs to be done, but now you don't have a stay-at-home person. So there's just all of these factors. And that's why millennials are saying that they're burnt out, or that's why people think that they don't want to work anymore. And that's why I feel like millennials are super obsessed with retiring early, right? But the thing is, the goal isn't actually to retire early and go sit on the beach for the rest of your life and drink margaritas. Especially if you're under 30 or under 40, you're probably not going to go and sit on a beach for the next 50 years and drink margaritas. As fun as it is, it gets old and everyone needs a purpose in life. And the point of retiring early is to then go out and find your purpose. And trust me, I've done it. I've actually done it twice, okay? Both when I finished grad school and then again when I quit my corporate job. So when I finished grad school, I took a 3-month trip around Southeast Asia and around Europe, which, don't get me wrong, was freaking amazing. I did part of it solo, did part of it with friends, and just had some of the most vibrant, incredible moments and memories that I will cherish forever. Time of a lifetime. And I literally hit 50 countries on that trip. I got to my 50th country. And I think it was Bosnia and Herzegovina, which was my 50th. But I remember being about a month and a half into that trip, and I was kind of starting to get over it. Once I hit the 2-month mark, I had done everything I had needed to do, and I was just kind of bumping around with no real goal or direction. Thankfully, I did have one big goal for that trip, and it was to reach 50 countries. So by the end, just having that was super useful and helped keep me motivated and going. But I was kind of ready to start working right after that, or at least doing something productive. I'd already blown off all my steam from grad school and from being in school for so long. I'd visited all the things. I couldn't drink anymore. I was tired. And I just wanted to be around people that I knew again. And I needed something fulfilling to do. And so when people say, and even when I say, right, go quit your corporate job, it's not necessarily just to go and travel. And of course it is to travel more and have more freedom over your time and your energy, but it's also to go out there and find the thing that you are actually truly passionate about, okay? Find your life purpose and potentially even monetize it, right? Or not monetize it, whatever you want to do, but it's to have that freedom to do life the way that you wish. And if your goal really is to go sit on the beach for the next 50 years and drink margaritas, more power to you, okay? As you know, I've been nomading for 2 years now, and I've been travel hacking for a decade. And I am finally coming out with an awesome new guide called the Jet Set and Invest Playbook, where I am putting together all of my travel hacking knowledge and letting you peek behind the curtains on exactly how I've traveled to over 50 countries. And in the process, I've actually saved and made tens of thousands of dollars. I think we actually tallied up the last year, and we're above $50,000 saved and made through the strategies that I am putting in this playbook. Now, the Jet Set and Invest Playbook is the ultimate guide on how to become a digital nomad, use your home as your income stream, travel hack using credit card points, and fund your travel with ease. And the cool thing is that you don't even need to own real estate yet to leverage a lot of the tools that I'm putting in this guide. So if you're interested in getting on the wait list for it and getting the absolute best price that it's literally ever going to be, either DM me the word jet set on Instagram or click the link of the show notes in this podcast and you'll be the first to know when it releases. And make sure to get on it quick because it is only going to be available for a limited time. So hurry up, peeps. Okay, now let's dive back into the show. But I would say for most people, generally, they need to find some sort of purpose to keep them going. And that's why you have so many people who, when they retire from their jobs, like later down the line, they've spent their whole lives working towards this grand retirement and they get there and then they're just kind of bored and they lose themselves and maybe they even die early, right? Because it's like, what am I here for? What do I do with my time? How do I continue to be a useful person in society? As human beings, we need to build and work towards something. Otherwise, we just kind of feel lost. And don't get me wrong, working towards something looks different for every single person. Like maybe it is building a business. Maybe it's helping out your community. Maybe it's taking care of your kids and being the most present parent. Maybe it's taking care of your grandparents or your parents. Maybe it's creating a giant community of travelers, like whatever that looks like for you. But the whole building passive income to then quit your job gives you that freedom and that flexibility and that optionality to go and fulfill your purpose. And I feel like that's kind of like what my biggest mission is in life. And when I think of my purpose, it's about inspiring others and getting them to the point where they are truly living out their purposes in life and doing the thing that they were really brought on this earth to do. And so the next time you think about, wow, I am so excited to quit my job, which don't get me wrong, you should be. It's a great place to be. There is just so much more past that than quitting your job and traveling the world and retiring, right? Those things are all great that you're going to do and it's going to be amazing. But then there's the next step. It's like, what do you do next? And that can be both an exciting place to be and an incredibly scary place to be. Because most people, when you're working on quitting your job, you haven't really thought about what you would do after, okay? It's just kind of like, I just need to quit my job and I'll have so much saved up and I'll have so much free time and I can go travel and chill on the beach or in the mountains. But then you haven't really thought about, okay, well, what now? What am I working towards, right? So anytime I hear someone say that they're really excited to retire early or even like this whole financial independence, retire early movement, most of the people who reach financial independence and retire early are now teaching others how to reach financial independence and retire early because that has become their new mission in life. Like everyone ends up finding their real purpose. And as cheesy as it sounds, it really is about the freaking journey. A lot of the time, it's more fun to go through the journey and the growth that you're going through and like everything that you experience while working towards something and building something versus actually reaching the destination. That's why there's so many entrepreneurs who like build these big, amazing businesses and automate everything and then phase themselves out, end up just going ahead and building another business or like starting a nonprofit or a new project because we always just need something that we're working towards. It's just nice to be able to do things, number one, that we love. And during our own time, we get to say how much time we put towards the things we want to do. So I just challenge you to think further than retiring early. With all of this free time, what would you do? Like, this is something I always talk to my WWA Wanderlust Wealth Academy coaching students. Like, what would you actually do once you've got the investment properties? Once you're traveling the world after a few months, like, what would you actually do with your time? What do you want to be known for? Who do you want to be? Who do you want people to remember you as? What does your ideal life actually even look like? Now, I hope this was helpful and gave you some solid food for thought. Let me know what you think about this episode, and I'll talk to you soon. Thank you so much for listening to Wanderlust Wealth Show. Now, don't forget to follow the podcast, or if you're watching on YouTube, make sure to hit that subscribe button. If you love this episode, it would literally mean the world to me if you shared this with a friend or a family member or literally like anyone off of the street. Like right now, go ahead, share it so you don't forget, or post it on social media and make sure to tag me. I love seeing what you're listening in on and what you resonated with, and I'm just so freaking thankful for you. I'm so freaking excited for you. I love you, and don't forget, life really doesn't have to be hard.